this meeting of the school committee to order and ask you to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, Aaron Smith. Where's Aaron Smith? We'd like Aaron to come up and lead us in the pledge this evening, if you would.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to ask everyone to please remain standing for one moment. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence in memory of Carl Vanderholm, who the city lost recently, a true icon of the city, president of the Historical Society, president of the Brockton High Alumni Association. Just so many things he was involved in the city. Someone who truly knew the history of the city, loved the city, and gave back to the city, particularly during his retirement years, was totally devoted to the city and, for our purposes, helping the young people growing up in the city. So we send our sympathies to the Vanderholm family. It's a tremendous loss to the city. And I just want to say personally that whenever I had a conversation with Carl Vanderholm, I always felt a little smarter at the end than I was at the beginning, because I always learned something from him. And I'm going to miss him tremendously. Thank you. Now, I'll turn it over to the superintendent.
We're going to have to share.
All right, there you go.
Good evening. I am so pleased to invite Aaron Smith, who did our Pledge of Allegiance. And I want to remind people that back, I think 4 years ago, when Aaron was a freshman at Brockton High School, I met him, and he told me that he watched the school committee meetings all the time. And I invited him at that point to come and lead the pledge. Aaron, again, did a wonderful job. He is a truly terrific member of our Boxer family at Brockton High. And I asked him if he'd like to say a few words to the audience about his experience as he is in the middle of his senior year. So, Aaron, I'm going to have you speak. Do you want to let me have you come right here? Have you sit right here. Make you comfortable.
Hello, everyone.
To hold it. Just speak right into it like that. There you go.
How's everyone doing tonight? That's good. Well, I'm a member here at Brockton High, and I'm very proud to be here because, well, I meet a lot of nice people. I think I'm going to get a nice education, and
Tell them about your attendance.
well, my attendance, I have 0 absence. Amazing. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the applause. I love the applause. And, well, being a student here at Brockton High is a pretty good experience because, well, on my freshman year, before I came to this school, I tried to be, I tried Southeastern Regional Vocational Technical High School, and I tried it out, and I didn't really care for it. I said, I can't try these wings out. I had to try on the boxer collar instead. And I said, this is a much better fit. And I told my mom that it's so much better here and less stress.
Well, we're very pleased, Aaron. So what's your favorite class at Brockton High?
Well, I like to do drawing and painting here.
He's an excellent artist.
Excellent artist. If I had one of my drawings on me right now, I'd be glad to show everyone here.
Well, we will be happy to invite you back. We're so pleased. We're going to look forward to seeing you at graduation, the prom, all the special events, and all the things that Brockton High has to offer. And I think it's very clear to everybody that it's a place where everybody has opportunity in the Brockton Public Schools. So I'm so pleased to have you back here this evening.
Thank you, everyone. So, and one more thing. The people who I appreciate having here is Dr. Davis, Dr. Murray, and myself, and of course, Mrs. Smith. Because, well, I have something to say is me and Mrs. Smith have the same last name, right?
We do. You told everybody we were related last time.
Yes, I did. I mean, we're not. I wish we were family. I mean, we are a family no matter what. It's still Brockton High. Yeah.
If that doesn't make you happy, I don't know what does.
Gonna make a commercial out of those comments about Southeastern Regional. Okay, we're good for right now?
We're all set.
All right, so at this point, first, we usually would open up with hearing of visitors, an opportunity for folks to have up to 3 minutes to speak directly to the school committee, the superintendent, and myself on any issue that they'd like to be heard on. Tonight, we did not have anyone sign up for hearing of visitors, so we will go directly on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda is a block of routine business that will be treated in one vote for the purpose of expediting the meeting. However, before we do that, any member of the school committee may request that any item be removed from the consent agenda for individual deliberations. So at this time, I'll ask if any members of the school committee would like to remove any items from the consent agenda.
Mayor, I would just like to make a point of reference that the minutes that are attached, I had to make a correction on a name, so there are attached minutes with a paperclip. I'd like them voted on instead of the minutes in the book.
All
It was
right.
just a correction.
So if the record could show the minutes that we're accepting in the consent agenda are the separate set of minutes in the paperclip that reflect a Scribner's error.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Pass the consent agenda this week?
I'll make a motion that we accept A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H as written.
Second, motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Approved. And so at this point, I'll turn the meeting over to the superintendent for her report on teaching and learning.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, the best way to start the meeting is for a couple of recognitions that we have in our school community. We are always so proud of our personnel that make up the Brockton Public School community, and it's all that much sweeter when we get good news about a member. So I first of all would like to invite Kathy Jackson up to the microphone here. So back about a month ago, we were informed that a member of our school community was nominated for a prestigious award called Home of a Life Changer of the Year 2018 nominee. And this was something very, very new to us in the district. So let me read you, first of all, a little bit about the award. So a Life Changer of the Year, and this is something that goes on all over the country. This is not local, this is national. And it's somebody who makes a positive impact in the lives of students, enhances their school or district's atmosphere, culture, and pride, demonstrates exemplary leadership at the district or school level, possess a proven record of professional excellence, shows commitment to building a nurturing environment that supports learning, and adheres to the highest moral and ethical standards. And a letter was written to nominate to this prestigious award by the former Reverend Michael Walker in our community, has since moved on, and Kathy knew Reverend Walker for many years. And he talked about a grandmother in the district that met Mrs. Jackson, who was one of our team chairs. So Mrs. Jackson is there when parents are coming, concerned about support for their children, wondering if a child has a special need that needs to be addressed. And really, and I'm just kind of making some quotes here, he went on to talk about a grandmother that said Mrs. Jackson listened actively and listened. The words were palpable. The grandmother felt heard. Consistent with the report of the grandmother, the Reverend writes that Mrs. Jackson actively listens. She genuinely cares. She sets out to discover the truth about the multicultural urban school district and those who participate in it. So we are very, very proud that she has been nominated. And I also want to share with you, because we are planning to make sure that this is something that we publicly share in our district, because the grand prize winner can win up to a $10,000 first prize, which is $5,000 donation to the school or district, and actually a personal award on top of that of $5,000. That's going to be one winner throughout the nation. there are going to be 4 grand prize finalists. So at this point, Mrs. Jackson is a nominee. And there is also a Life Changer Award and a Life Changer Spirit Award. I would recommend she receive every one of them, knowing how she is felt about in the Brockton Public Schools. We had an opportunity to reflect on her career here, and it was interesting to hear Kathy be very humble about herself in this nomination. So Kathy, we are very proud of you.
Thank you.
We're going to be sending things out to the district. There are opportunities for you to go on a social media site and congratulate Mrs. Jackson. She is actually housed here at Brockton High School. This is her home base. She was at many schools for many years. I know many of you have worked with her. So Dr. Murray will have an opportunity to put the poster in the halls, have a banner made where our students and our teachers can congratulate her. But we're going to pay special attention because you know how it is in boxer country. When there's a challenge, we rise to that challenge. So we will support Kathy Jackson every step of the way. And please join me in congratulating her as a nominee for this award.
Thank you.
There's actually 2 awards made from us. I think one is from the school committee and the other is from the organization itself. So, yeah, lots of awards. And while we're taking pictures, can I have her husband Miles Jackson come? And son-
Voice of Boxing Nation.
Son Michael is here. Michael, please come up. I'd like to ask Kathy to say a few words.
Okay, first of all, thank you. You're right, I am humble because when I first, I received a text actually from Mike Walker, he is now known as. I didn't know what the Life Changer link was. I thought it was maybe a virus or something, so I never, I never opened it, and I didn't think anything of it until it was in the Enterprise. And I thought, wow, what is this? This is something big, I guess. So first of all, I want to thank Mike Walker for nominating me for the Life Changer Award. And I'd like to also just say how thankful I am and humble, because I really don't think about getting any awards. My rewards are really with the students and their families, and when we can reach some kind of agreement and reach an area where we can help them in some kind of way, really, that's my reward. But I wanted to say thank you, and that was the first thank you. And the second one really is to Brockton Public Schools, because I feel like they gave me an opportunity, because I changed careers, so I was given the opportunity to teach, and the special ed department just welcomed me right in, and I want to give my thanks to Laurie Mason. She's the director, and she gives me a lot of opportunities to try different things and to go to different schools and do the elementary, the middle school. I've done them all. So that was a great opportunity for me to not just be at the secondary level, but to be at the elementary level too. I also wanted to just say I've been teaching, well, been in the education business like 25 plus years. And when I was told in August that you're going to be going back to the high school, are you okay with that? And I said, of course, that's where I started. I'm going home. So I feel like I'm back home, working with students and working with their families. And I don't know who the grandmother is, because there are many. There are many grandmothers, parents, aunts, uncles, and really it is about listening. It is about listening. We have to be slow to speak sometimes. Sometimes I'm not at home, but I think my family tell you. But, at work, you have to stop and you have to listen. So I really thank God for the opportunities to be able to do that and share what I love to do and how I want to support the families in Brockton. So this Life Changer Award, it's funny because Dr. Davis likes to say, hey there, Life Changer, and I'm thinking, okay, so I am humble. I don't like a lot of spotlight, but I'm willing to take on this opportunity to embrace it and to enjoy it. So I have a couple of quotes here that I wanted to leave with you. One of them is, well, you know, I think about the listening that we need to do in life, and I also think about sometimes we don't have a lot of resources, and Kathy Smith, you often talk about do more with little. You have to learn how to stretch, and I think that's what we do a lot of. So I saw this quote and thought of us as Brockton Public School staff and administration. We do what you do what you can with what you have, where you are. And that's Theodore Roosevelt, actually. And then the other one, I think about listening. You know, sometimes it's not what we say, it's how we act and how we carry ourselves. So I feel like in the meetings, you know, you have to constantly be on the model because everyone's looking and everyone's listening, and you want to do the best you can. But one kind of tickled me when I found this quote, and it was, you can preach a better sermon with your life than with your lips. And that, Oliver Goldsmith, I'm not sure who that is, but I think that's a nice little quote for all of us. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations, thank you. And now you know why Kathy Jackson was nominated for this award. Congratulations, Kathy. And next, another good story. So about a week and a half ago, I was invited, as I am each year, to take part in a mentor rally, which is hosted by the YMCA here in Brockton. And they nominate people as mentors who truly make a difference in the lives of young people in our community. And I was told at the time that one of the members from the Brockton Public Schools was nominated. I think there was a mix-up in communication that evening as far as inviting who I'm going to introduce you to right now, Mr. Leroy Webster, who I have to tell you is one of our custodians at the George Elementary School here in Brockton. And without even reading, and I will share with you what was written about him, it doesn't matter when I enter the George School. Sometimes it's at night, sometimes it's during the day. If he's there, he's the first to greet you. He's the first to see if he can do anything for you. He watches me walk out a door, making sure, you know, do you need help getting out to, not help, do you need somebody to walk you to your car for safety? Just a wonderful man. So he was nominated as a mentor, and I want to share with you what was written about Mr. Leroy Webster, but I would actually like him to come up so that we can have him up here. Mr. Webster, could you come join me while I read? So this is what was written about Mr. Webster. My two kids are students at the George School in Brockton, where Mr. Webster is a custodian and also serves as a crossing guard. The George School has over 1,000 students, which makes drop-off and pickup a chaotic scene. Mr. Webster's patient and big smile, however, makes it a pleasant time, especially in the morning. One time he had taken the day off, and so the next day I told him how much we miss seeing him, and his response was, I try to make it a point to bring my best self to work. I might be having a bad day, but I know that everyone is stressed in the morning, and it is important for the kids to start the day with a friendly face. His attitude was such an example to me, and I appreciate how much effort he puts into making sure the students begin their day well, since he is one of the first faces they see at school. So he was selected mentoring over 1,000 students at the George School. Congratulations, Mr. Webster. see the Y staff up there. I know we have, is it Philip Gomez, Aaron Spalding, are you joining us, Aaron? So the Y oversees the mentor program each year. And they were disappointed that day we had communications crossed. So this is their opportunity to congratulate you. Philip? Congratulations. So an exceptional mentoring award on behalf of the mentoring program and the YMCA Brockton's Promise. Mrs. Fold, would you like to join Leroy? I'm going to ask Leroy to say a few words. I'm not sure if you would like to. So I've invited Principal Natalie Pohl, principal of the George School, to accompany Mr. Webster as we talk about his journey at the George School.
Are you going to be okay? Mr. Webster, and first I want to welcome his family is here as well. Mrs. Webster, Janice Webster is here with us tonight, and his granddaughter, Acacia, who is also a George School Jaguar. So we're very happy that you're with us. But Mr. Webster is just an absolute joy. We have some other staff members here with us tonight. Parents, staff, everybody talks about Mr. Webster, and he truly does have a positive impact on so many students. So it didn't surprise me one bit that one of our parents took the time to nominate him for that award, and we're so very proud of him.
You turn on the microphone. Just push the little button. I want to make sure we hear you. Thank you.
I don't know. All that talking I do. No, I can't. I just like to say thank you, and thank everyone. Mike, Tom, I thank you when I came and asked for a job. I told you all I wanted to do was work. And I tried to prove that up to myself. I love the kids. I love the staff. I love what I do. I have people have came across there. Some can really speak English. If you ever notice, I'm broken tongue. They couldn't really speak, but you know what I do? I tell them, good morning, say something real nice to them. A few days after the end, they come back, say, good morning, Mr. Webb, good morning, Mr. Webb. I have some come by there and cuss me out, excuse the sprint, but I said, that's okay. I don't say those things no more, but I love you. Have a blessed day. This you just don't know how far this pushed me to make me do better than I already were. I don't like taking time off work. I have my little sweet granddaughter there. Sometimes she just won't put her shoes on. I be trying to explain to her, I have to be there, I have to be there, I have to tell the people good morning. She takes a little time sometimes, but me and her gonna work on that. But I just thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And now there's not a dry eye in the house.
I
so
know,
we'll
right?
we love you, Mr. Webster.
Thank you for my partner, Laura.
Thank you. I don't know how we top that, except we have an introduction of one of our students from Brockton High School who is a student representative. And I want to introduce you to Naomi Bosquet, who is a senior at Brockton High School and will be joining us. I believe you'll be sharing it with Jayla Smith, who I know has busy schedule. So between the two of you, I know you'll be able to share what's happening at Brockton High School. Naomi?
Good evening. So I have several events that happened and are going to be upcoming. The first event that happened was the girls and boys indoor track teams. They won the Big Three championships yesterday. My second announcement is girls swim team tied for league championships. Today, the 12th grade students participated in NAEP, the National Assessment of Educational Progress. Also, MCAS bio retests are this week on Wednesday and Thursday. FebFest, which was 3 productions, were last weekend on Friday and Saturday. It was a full house, and they were student-directed productions. Students are collecting books for the Educational Rising Program and toiletries for needy peers. Also, the second semester started last Tuesday. An upcoming event is our teachers, Mr. Leonard, is conducting a bowl for books on Friday, February 8th at the Westgate Lanes. All money earned will go to students who cannot afford yearbooks. And my last event is Term 2 grades are to be expected this week.
That's a shout out to all the parents, I'm sure, out there to
Yes.
remind them. Your peers will be very excited that you shared that here. So Naomi, are you in a countdown yet? You mentioned we're into second semester.
Oh, yes, I'm counting down those days till I cross the stage.
I didn't know if you actually had a day total yet.
Oh, no.
So we
actually
haven't
not.
started that at Brockton High. We're gonna let us finish the year.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, wonderful things happening. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to future meetings with you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to switch to serious business, a curriculum update. And again, we have been focusing on a number of turnaround practices happening at the school. I'd like to invite the Chief Academic Officer, June Saber McGuire, to come up and to talk to you about some of the work going on as we lead up to, in some cases, writing grants, doing monitor site visits at 5 of our schools, and she'll update you right now as to the work that's happening.
So not to put Mrs. Pohl on the spot, but I'd love her to come up and to join me since she's had an incredibly busy day, and some of it has been focused on planning for some of the turnaround work that's gone on in the district. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to update the school committee on where we were in terms of turnaround planning and update you on the schools that were involved in that planning. And one of the schools that we talked about was the George School. And the reason that the George School was highlighted was because it's a school that not only is going through turnaround planning and is required to submit a turnaround plan to the state, but they are also actually eligible to submit a grant, a competitive grant to the state. And Mrs. Pohl, I was going to talk about some of the work that they're doing, but she's here, so I'd like to give her an opportunity to actually discuss that with you.
Oh, sure. So we were able to put together a redesigned team. We have a wonderful group of teachers from all grade levels and programs at the George School. We also have our health teacher, a guidance counselor, as well as some district level people. We have Vula Rumis, bilingual department head, Rachel and Brianna, coordinator of classical and world languages. So it's a wonderful group of people that are coming together to engage in this work. We met last Saturday, did a lot of work learning about the turnaround practices and also envisioning our future. And I just came from a meeting with the team again, where part of that work is also envisioning and defining what is a global studies school. So we're really excited. We have a lot of people that are really excited about the work, and we're confident that we can put together a solid turnaround plan that will increase student achievement. And we're pretty confident that hopefully we're going to get that grant as well.
Principal Pohl is working very closely with one of our partners from the Department of Ed, Cassell Walker, and another one of her colleagues, and they've actually come down to Brockton and spent all of Saturday with the George School with Principal Pohl and her team. And this is something that I think has been really important for us as a district, because these are folks that have been involved in turnaround work over the past really 10 years. So they're people who are really just in the field and just newly retired, and they've led this work across the state. And one in particular is right out of the Boston Public Schools and has really got a proven track record. And so again, having the George School out in front of the work and working so closely with the Department of Ed, it's allowed us to really be able to share some of the work that's coming out of the George with the other schools that are involved in this process, including West Middle School, the Plouffe School, East Middle School, and the Brookfield Elementary School. So we also have the Arnone and the Baker, who are continuing to support, but they're further ahead in the process. So what we really like about this process is that we're working so closely with Destiny that it really is a partnership, and they're really helping to guide the schools and us as a district through this process of the turnaround practices.
I think that's important, and I've talked about this with the school committee, and just listening to Principal Pohl talk about the weekend and the continuing work that goes on. We talked about, again, leadership, shared responsibility, professional collaboration. That's exactly what you see going on. Intentional practices for improving instruction, student-specific supports, and school climate and culture. And I know at first, we were disappointed. We'd worked so hard, and the George School in particular. And when we did get some of the information that we're starting to get back with, which is information we get from the school site itself, a monitor site visit where information is shared. We just got the report today. I just started to look at, but there are things that we're very strong in, things that we have worked very hard at, school culture, climate. Obviously, we're looking for a new global study school. That's a new track for us. But we know what we've done well. And when you look at the district, and again, this is not excuse-making, the challenges that we had, the movement of staff, the adoption of curriculum, I see us headed in a very positive direction. And I know we will get there, and certainly the time and effort being put in. And I do see DESE as our partners here. It very much has been a solid partnership, a sharing of information to support the very things that I just spoke about.
And I just want to mention, because Natalie had mentioned that she has support from the bilingual office with the director here, Kelly Jones, with Vularumis. All of those people from central office and the Office of Learning and Teaching, the bilingual office, the special ed department, we're all attaching ourselves to one or more of those schools and becoming part of their planning process so that they know that they have direct support from the district as well as the state.
And I think one of the most important things, I'm looking up at Kim Gibson sitting in the audience, is the collaboration with the Brockton Education Association, which is your teachers. Your teachers, when you hear me talk about, again, the practice of shared responsibility. It has to have leaders. We need leaders, and we will all support them as leaders in the district. But the teachers are the ones in those classrooms that are going to do this work with our students.
And Kim has actually been a big part of the work, both at the Baker, the Arnone, and now continues to be through the process that all of the schools are going through.
Okay. Any questions? And we'll continue to update you as this work goes on in the district for a number of our schools. So thank you. Next, I want to talk about an advocacy update. The advocacy work continues. I attended an advocacy meeting at the state level with a number of urban districts. I will tell you we are watching very, very closely the governor's budget that has come out. We're looking at, a Senate bill. We're looking at a House bill. We are going to be meeting with our own legislators this coming week, the end of the week, to talk again as we kind of go through this information and look at what best supports our students in our urban district and in the Brockton Public Schools. That being said, there was so much success with the January 8th event that went on around the state. You heard me talk about being with Aldo Petronio in Malden. They have asked us to take the show on the road to Lowell. So we're going to be heading to Lowell, supporting Lowell and their surrounding communities as far as sharing their same message of the tale of more cities. We're also looking, as I told you earlier, to come up with a date probably in March because of how lengthy the month is, without getting into the spring days, of looking to do something in our own Brockton community. So, Mayor, we'll have to come up with a date. I know you're busy in March also with your State of the City address, et cetera. So we will come up with a time, and I'm also looking to meet with my South Shore superintendent counterparts and look to go out into the South Shore. So we have a number. Again, the best thing that we can do is to build collaborations and to share. Every district is a little different, but the stressors on many of our budgets are similar in many ways. So we, again, are going to continue to work with you. We have a finance subcommittee coming up, I believe, in a week. And we will start to, as I said, decipher some of the different bills, the governor's budgets. You know, we did have some of the information that we shared at the retreat, but we're just delving a little bit deeper into what this means for us going forward. And Mayor, I know we talked about this at the retreat, and we're not there yet, but we're a heck of a lot better than where we were 1 year ago right now. We've got a long way to go, and make no mistake about it, this is your advocacy. This is, you know, Brockton and a lot of other communities saying, you know, the time is now, support our education, and that is for every student all over the state. So I thank you, Mayor, for your continued support and working on this advocacy. Any questions? We're all set. And next, we're going to do I'd like to invite down Melissa Shepard, our Coordinator of Extended Day. I know we have Margot Masson, our new Director of Community Schools, Erin Spalding, Heather Arrighi, Lauren. I'm trying to see up there. I've got lights in my eyes. So I'm going to first invite Melissa. Are you coming first with Erin? Yes. Okay, please join us. So just a little less than a year ago, we made a decision with Project Grads to support the program in a different way. This is our first year. I want to update you as what is happening in the support for Project Grads and, you know, where we're looking to go. And I'm going to take a seat because I believe we have a PowerPoint presentation to start. I will make comments as we go on.
Okay.
Come further.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you to Superintendent Smith and the Mayor and the school committee. We're here tonight to update everyone here about the collaboration between Brockton Public Schools and Old Colony Y as it relates to the Project Grad daycare that we have here at the high school. So we just wanted to kind of review with everybody here a quick history. The superintendent alluded to some of that history, what kind of went on last spring that led us to this collaboration. So last spring, before I came on, there was a discussion about ongoing program deficits to the Project Grad fiscal 18 budget deficit of $115,000 approximately. And there was a program review and collaboration with Old Colony Y to see how we could bring them in to support our program. There was a review of opportunities for Chapter 74 expansion at Brockton High School, specifically the nursing and culinary programs. And there was a decision made last spring to use this year, fiscal 19, to integrate the Old Colony Y case management services into Project Grads at Brockton High School. So shortly after late spring over the summer, we secured EEC's permission to subcontract services to the Old Colony YMCA for 1 year. And I came on in early September and began working with Erin Spalding and Lauren Selman and the team at the Y to begin just what was proposed last spring, which was the on-site case management with the teen parents. So we immediately started building relationships with the teens. We came in, we were updating enrollment forms and releases, and we, located student files and updated those. We arranged for CPR and first aid for the support staff and began monthly meetings with them. We did receive in early fall a DTA Young Parenting Program grant, which basically gives us some reimbursement for enrollment and then some reimbursement for educational outcomes. That has been a challenge for us. When a student is enrolled in DTA, which is transitional assistance, typically cash benefits, we would get a $3,500 stipend if they're a teen parent to enroll them. And then we get an additional $3,500 when they reach an educational outcome. So an educational outcome is defined by a high school graduation. It could be 12 completed college credits, completion of a certificate program, or significant progress in their ELL status in their learning based upon their WIDA scores. So there's some opportunity for some stipend, which can fund what we're doing with the teens and supporting them academically. But it's been a challenge to enroll the teens that we have in this parenting program for a few reasons. It's complicated with their own parents, so that the teen parents are reluctant to sort of have their children sign in with DTA. There's been some challenges around some immigration status with some of the teens as far as whether they're eligible for DTA services. And finally, there's been a challenge, a reluctance for some of the moms to sort of document child support, and so that's a sticking point with DTA. So we've enrolled two of our teens in this DTA Young Parenting Program grant, and we're working with DTA closely to try to see if we can get some of our teens to become DTA eligible, so that we can support them further in their education. But that YPP is we're working at it, but it's had some challenges. We'd like to let the school committee know that we also received a $5,000 donation from Eastern Bank, and we're using those funds to provide driver's ed for the girls. We have all moms in our programs. We don't have any dads this year, so I keep referring to the teen moms. So that donation was specifically for young women empowerment. So we thought, what better way to empower them is to provide them, help them, obtain a driver's license. And finally, we have been in continuous collaboration with the Brockton High School Guidance Department on meeting the educational needs of our teen parents. And Erin's going to talk to you about what the Y has provided.
Sure. Thank you, Melissa. And once again, I'm Erin Spalding, and I'm privileged to be the Senior Vice President of Youth Development and Family Strengthening at the Y, and my 22 years now in Brockton. Kathy, it makes me feel old. And I'm here representing Lauren Selman, one of my coworkers, and we had some great pictures of some of our amazing teens at Brockton Public Schools. On the other slides, this is Tanya Hardy-Yaya, our case manager that's actually in the schools as part of our collaboration. And we're just very pleased to kind of talk to you about the great work that's been going on, and really about another complement to sort of the partnerships to really serve and do the best that we can to support our amazing teen parents in the city of Brockton. And so, yeah, we've been providing on-site case management. Lauren and Tanya are the team. And really, case management means a lot of different things, building relationships and sort of working towards how do we help them with their educational goals, right? And also their other goals of being an amazing parent and sort of managing that balance every single day. And so we're doing that in a lot of different ways. We're doing groups on Mondays and Tuesdays. And a bunch of parenting, education, life skill lessons, anything from goal setting to thinking about healthy relationships, and really building supportive connections to really sort of get all the supports that you need to be a successful family. They all get free family membership to the Y, and we've done a lot of work this fall with thinking about and removing barriers for transportation. I know that Lauren and Tanya have visited moms after they have delivered prior to them coming back to the school to sort of start that relationship, get to know them a little bit. And we're doing anything we can, or any type of supplies that they might need to make sure that they can get through every single day as good as possible, from diapers and wipes and humidifiers to anything they might need. We are a 24-hour operation in our social service programs, so there is that option to know that when school ends at the end of the school day, we're still accessible 24/7, 365 to extend our support to them. We had an amazing, with some pictures coming up, family field trip to Edaville, which we do every year on behalf of the Y, and we have some great pictures of that. And we really sort of have this option for these teen parents to have expanded childcare through one of our childcare locations, West Chestnut in Brockton. We just did this really cool car seat safety with the great people from the police department here in Brockton, where they gave us car seats and did a whole safety class for all the moms. That was pretty cool. And we are just looking to collaborate with all good things in the city to provide the most effective wraparound supports for all families, and that includes BMZ, WIC, Cradle to Crayons, BF&CR, Family and Community Resources, Massasoit, and a great little program called Raising a Reader.
So some of our successes this year, we just added our 17th parent yesterday. We have 17 moms. 10 of them are seniors and are on track to graduate this year. 6 seniors participated recently in an on-the-spot admissions event and were accepted into Massasoit. That was very exciting. They had a sort of like private meeting with the Massasoit folks in the daycare, so it was, you know, it was really personalized, and it was very exciting to see. We have 2 teens at the Keith Center that have children enrolled in Project Grads. And currently there are 2 children at the Old Colony Y West Chestnut Street location and 15 children enrolled at the Brockton High School location.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, you know, as we're thinking about sort of this continued collaboration on how we can work together to best serve these amazing students at Brockton High, graduating seniors will have access to full-time childcare at the Y, which will be something nice if they're thinking about transitioning to college and or thinking about a summer job or a job opportunity, so that they don't have to worry about childcare in the summer, which will be a really, really nice thing. We are offering access to year-round childcare options. Again, our center is open 6:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. every single day for moms that if they need to maybe have another job or get some extra help with their education, school, that type of thing. We're going to continue to immerse them with our case management that's really strength-based and relationship-focused, and any and all wraparound supports from the YMCA if it meant some of our family service programs responding to basic needs, our mental health clinic, and anything else that we have, they will have access to, and they will continue to have access to. Again, a family membership and full family sort of offerings on anything they'd like to participate in the Y. We started thinking about some neat opportunities for summer work and learning, and the summer coming up, and now that we can provide that childcare for them, and thinking about how we can collectively work together for the summer. Again, we have food pantries and access to emergency basic needs, and a mental health clinic, and removing those barriers for mental health services if so needed. And we have some really, Melissa, some pretty awesome pictures here, right?
We do.
Santa coming.
Yep, Santa returned. Santa John has come for, he said about 20 years he's been coming to Project Grads to visit the babies and their moms. So that was an exciting day, and there's a picture up there to the right at Edaville.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we've noticed over the years in our social service programming is that sometimes people are so busy they don't get to do sort of family events and family programming. And so every year we take our families, we had 220 people go to Edaville Railroad, and we had 10 of our amazing students in there, little ones, go to Edaville. And if you've ever experienced seeing someone for the first time take their little child on that train in the middle of nowhere in the woods to see all the holiday lights, it's a special experience. And so we're creating opportunities. The girls loved it, and we had a really nice family night. And so we're looking to do more of that with the teens.
Great, and this is our staffing. Here for Brockton Public Schools, we have, as Superintendent Smith mentioned, our new Director of Community Schools, Marguerite Masson, myself, Melissa Shepard, Coordinator of Extended Day, and Heather Origi is also in our office as the 21st Century Coordinator. And as we've got Erin and Lauren and Tanya from the Y, from Old Colony Y. And then we wanted to certainly acknowledge the paraprofessionals, the staff who work in the daycare, Marsha Malley, Lori Feeney, Ann Caswell, and the support staff of Benvita Tavares, Ellie Young, Tina Emerson, and Mary Higginbotham.
True collaboration. And hot off the press, this picture, right?
This was a picture of, this is Shantae. This was what on-the-site admissions looked like for Massasoit.
Being accepted into Massasoit Community College. What an amazing picture, right? With her beautiful daughter, Kaylani. So what a great way to sort of end of talking about how amazing these young women are.
They are, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, I just want to add a few things. This is a transition year. We meet on a regular basis so we can find out what the challenges are. You know, there are some, you know, we're having conversation of where we go from here. You know, we are looking at, and we will start to have discussions this year. We talked last year about the very little ones when a young mom comes in with a brand new baby. Some of the conversation is Brockton High would be the place right on site to have their little ones. And at what point do you get where we transition to, again, the YMCA site, where they have excellent resources, opportunities. When you even talk about the Keith Center, those moms do have their babies off-site. They're not here at Brockton High. When you talk about Edison Academy, so we continue to, again, I can't tell you there haven't been challenges, there have been, but I thank you for sticking with us, working through some of the things as we look at even the opportunity for the vouchers and the contracted slots and how we transition some of this over the Y to keep us a viable program. All the supports that you've put in place, and again, the Y has many resources that I'm glad we're making available, to our teen moms and our families. One of the things we talked about was support here at Brockton High School, looking at the possibility down the road of a guidance counselor that is just focused on our teen moms. Sometimes it might be something as simple as one of the teen moms has a directed academics in the morning, and we might have to change the transportation schedule. So we are looking to form, let's say, a stipend position. We'll work to create that, work with the Brockton Education Association on, taking a look at an additional job here at the high school, so we have that one person focusing and making sure that the teens are supported. When you talk about that DTA grant, we had high hopes for that. You heard lots of money, and we're finding challenges. There are things like anything that are put in place where it put teen moms in a difficult position. Whether it's, the child support issue, again, these moms are trying to navigate a system, deal with a new baby, continue to go to school. So we will continue to work through this, and we'll be happy to report back to you at the end of the year where we've really ended up and what we're looking at moving forward for next year. So any questions or?
First of all, this program is passionate. I'm very passionate about this program, and I had many questions, but your presentation, as always, was very thorough, and you answered almost every single question I had, so thank you very much. One question I do have, and I believe it's, it was a challenge with all of our students, even at the high school, getting parents, keeping their attendance up. How has attendance been with this program? Have you had any challenges with the new site?
There have been no challenges with the new site. As far as like a couple of the children going over to the Old Colony Y, do you mean?
Yes. Has attendance been affected at all?
No, because they're all in one bus. So the bus picks up the parent and the child, and they go to West Chestnut first, then they come to the high school, and they've been on time. Except for a couple of bumps in the road, but overall, no. We do try to, because we have so many seniors, a lot of them are scheduled for directed academics first period, and we balance that. We make sure that anybody with a study comes in on the second run, and anybody with an academic class comes in on the first run. But no, attendance that way hasn't been a challenge. There's always challenges with sick children and things, but overall, the kids in our program, they're warriors. They're doing it. They're up very early. They're on a bus very early. They're in school, and they're doing a great job. The Massasoit Day was a great day last week.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to say the program that you're doing to help these teen mothers get their license, I think, is genius. And I commend you for that and
Great.
for all your passion in helping these
Thank
parents.
you.
So,
Thank you. That was a very generous gift from Eastern Bank, and we really did think that was a great way to use that money. So thank you.
I think it was interesting, and I do want to thank Eastern Bank, but we talked about at the end of the year, there are many companies that look to support charitable organizations. So I think we need to maybe do some outreach and let them know some of the wonderful things that we're able to do, or even come up with a menu of options. And that might be something. I serve on the board of directors of the Metro South Chamber of Commerce, and I thought what I would do is talk about that, to the business leaders as a way to find out how to support many of our programs here in Brockton. So that was interesting that happened, I think, right at the last minute.
Yeah, we got that call right, actually just after Christmas. I got the call in the office. I think it might have been like the 27th. So we were thrilled to take that gift.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And Lisa, just because I know you'll find this, so I'm so excited you don't even know this yet. We're cooking up this really neat partnership with the South Shore Conservatory, and they have this program where they come in and work with the parent to create a lullaby for their child. And it's this really amazing sort of, I'm so excited about this. We just met last week. It's the coolest thing ever. And so these moms will be able to write a lullaby that they will be able to have for their child, to be able to have forever. And it's through this really neat music thing that we're working on. We got a little mini grant for that, so,
I think we can tie that in with academics.
yeah, no, but it's a really neat, positive parenting sort of soothing piece, relationship attachment piece, so we're looking forward to that as well.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I just one question. The teachers aren't involved anymore as far as dropping off their own kids?
The teachers, no.
It's just the teens?
It's just the teens.
Thank you.
Joyce?
I just want to say thank you. It is a wonderful program, and I'm happy to see that we are giving them other opportunities, whether it's helping them get their driver's license or actually giving them some real family time by going to Edaville Railroad. A lot of times, young moms are either working or they're busy, that they don't get these opportunities. So it's wonderful. So I am happy to see that the transition was a smoother transition than I expected. So good job.
Thank you. Great, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, as I said, there are challenges, and we will share that with you as we get towards the end of the year. Looking forward to making some decisions to moving forward. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very
Our
much.
pleasure.
Next, I want to bring to the attention of the school committee a trip that we have. We were actually contacted by Dr. Joe Arosa from Bridgewater State University about a trip to Cape Verde. And Kelly Jones, our Director of Bilingual Education, had come to me and talked about the possibility of sending a number of our teachers. And that's always been kind of a dream of ours. Mayor, I know you've gone there certainly a number of times. And I think it's important for our teachers, we have such a large Cape Verdean population, to actually see where the children are coming from, what family life is like there, what school life is like. So we're very fortunate to have, I believe, 11 of our educators or our staff in the Brockton Public Schools taking part in this trip. The teachers will be leaving on April 8th through the 20th. That is one day that they're getting a professional day, and the planes going back and forth, it doesn't always work on a perfect schedule. So there will be one day. Other than that, it's April vacation. The good news is we are looking to support this through a number of funds we have. Some of the money, most of it is being put up by the teachers themselves, but they are going to come back and do a presentation not only to the school committee, but to our school community and talk about this trip. Kelly, I know you're in the audience. Do you want to say anything additional about the trip? Or I'd invite you to come down if you'd like to, so I can put you on microphone. So Kelly has worked very hard to put together itinerary, to talk about, again, working with Bridgewater State University to make this happen, and we're getting there.
So among the people who have signed up to go to the trip includes a principal, an associate principal, some coaches, ESL teachers, classroom teachers, and we're all going to go together. And the itinerary includes things like visiting with the University of Cape Verde, going to secondary schools and elementary schools, visiting the mayor of Cape Verde, visiting a literacy specialist in Cape Verde, and going to the island of Fogo. So most of the time will be spent in Praia, and then we will fly over to Fogo for 2 days of work. So we're really going to learn about the educational systems, the culture, the language of the students that we serve right here in Brockton. So it's a dream come true. I've been talking for decades about wanting to do it and not knowing how to go about it. Who do I reach out to? And I was in a meeting with Dr. Rose, and I happened to mention it off the fly, and he said, I can do that for you. We do that through the Pedro Pires Institute. So a conversation has led to something that will really kind of bring a lot of knowledge and development to our teachers, and you know, be related to how we best serve our students.
And we hope to continue this, so we'll find out if it's a success. We'll have our group come back and report to us, and we're hoping to be able to do this on a regular basis to develop a partnership.
We're all self-funding this for the most part, and I was surprised because it was late in the year. We've kind of pulled this off after, you know, January, and teachers have their plans already in place. And so we have a lot of teachers who are unable to come this year who have asked if we could do this again in the future. I've had teachers say, can we go to Haiti? I've had teachers say, can we go to the Dominican Republic? I've had teachers say, can we go to Ecuador? Can we go to Portugal? Can we go to Italy? Can we go to, so.
That's where we start to question.
I'm not sure what our Italian, speaking population is of Brockton right now, but it really has a lot of enthusiasm within the Brockton Public Schools community. Any questions?
Any questions? We look forward to reporting back to the group when you're back and settled and ready to go.
Yes.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Kelly. And next, I would like to bring your attention to the, what do we have here? I'm sorry. Yep, the calendar, the draft calendar for next school year, which I still think is amazing that we're talking about 2019 to 2020. So again, this does not include our in-service days. It is the general academic calendar. Labor Day is on Monday, September 2nd, which is obviously a federal holiday. And school starts for teachers reporting on September 3rd, that's Tuesday. First day of school for students is Wednesday, September 4th. And first day for pre-K and kindergarten is Monday, September 16th. So we'll need a vote on that. No, just a first read, no vote. Very good. Okay, and a couple of things. I thought it was interesting as I finish up this evening. I wanted to read to you, and many years ago, being the director of community schools, we always had a swim program, and we struggled a little, and we just got some terrific instructors along the way. Presently, we have Michelle Zachary, who started out as probably a student on the swim team and then a teacher in the program, and has continued to grow our aquatics program for our special needs students, for our young students learning to swim, developing swim programs that are feeders to the swim team up at Brockton High School. And I thought it was interesting. We received a letter from a parent, Cheryl Woodcock, and she says, hi, hope you're all doing well. We are living in East Falmouth and trying to buy a house in Sandwich. She talks about signing her son Jeffrey up for swimming lessons with the Cape Cod Swim Club, and they swim at Mass Maritime. The lessons didn't start until the first week in January, and the head coach saw Jeffrey swim and thought that he had the skills to right away be on the swim team. He went to his first meet this past Sunday, and he qualified for regionals. We are so proud of him. You guys in Brockton did a great job teaching him. So things like that, when we get that kind of communication that went to Michelle Zachary, but I think it's wonderful to share with you because I know the efforts that go into this kind of a program. It is a feeder program. It creates wonderful opportunities for many of our kids who might not have an interest in swimming. So by the time we get them into learning to swim, we make sure that there are additional opportunities. Don't forget that ends up becoming opportunities for work, for lifeguarding, not just throughout high school here in our city for a number of our pools. We're the feeder program. Many of them go off to college and still right away have a built-in job. I also want to tell you that the Davis School sent us a thank you note for the money that we put back into the fund, and this was for one of their after-school clubs. I believe it was the Davis Diggers, and that is their garden club, which they had a lot of success this year. So they are thanking you for that. We also have music to our ears. Congratulations to 6 Brockton High School student musicians who were accepted into the 2019 Massachusetts All-State Music Festival. From the chorus, we have Daniel Dong. We have Dominic DeAndrade, Giovanni Pereira, Victoria Suiro, and Mark Valson, and from the band, Elizabeth Mokit. So congratulations to them. They will go on in competition. And I believe that that is my report, Mayor, for the evening. The only thing we do have, I believe, a slideshow, and I'm trying to see where that is. No? We don't have a slideshow. We do? Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is the calendar home and some of the... Oh, yeah, can I just... Yep. Yep. So these are some events happening throughout the district. As I close out, I thought it was best to put this in pictures for you.
1 second.
And our first picture again is Carl Landerholm, remembering Carl and all he did in the district. Looking at Brendan Coughlin, one of the amazing teachers. This is quick. Our Chinese students that visited. I can't talk this quickly. I'm sorry. And enjoy the photos. I apologize.
That's the kind I
You can tell it's the Patriots. Congratulations, Patriots.
I put that together.
Mike Thomas, you did this, didn't you?
We could have used that idea about 5.5 years ago. We wait till now to come up with it? That's the best presentation I've seen in a long time.
I'm sorry.
I don't have time for my nap. I'm sorry. We're just having some fun, Superintendent. It's getting late.
It is. Items to refer to subcommittee. I know we do have 3 meetings next week planned for facilities, finance, superintendent contract, and we're all set.
Next Tuesday
All
night,
next
right?
Tuesday.
So everyone knows we have 3 subcommittee meetings next Tuesday. Mr. Sullivan.
Is that subcommittee here or the unknown?
Our known.
I believe we
No,
had to
here?
change it because of city council.
It's
so
here.
we are here.
Here, okay.
Yes, we'll be right here.
I knew it was one or the other.
Yeah, no, we had to change it. And that's it.
That's it? Okay, we do still have just a couple pieces of business to do. Ratification MOA?
Yes.
We're going to present that, explain it, we're just going to vote on it. It's in the book?
It is in the book.
Okay.
Yep, enclosure 13, please.
Okay.
And we're just looking to ratify. The members of the Brockton Education Paraprofessional Association met on January 16th and voted to ratify the attached memorandum of agreement. And it is my recommendation that we'll need a motion to ratify the memorandum of agreement between the Brockton School Committee and the Brockton Education Paraprofessional Association. The new contract shall be effective for a 3-year period from July 1st, 2018, so it is retroactive through June 30th, 2021.
Okay, so everyone has a copy of that agreement in their booklet. So if there's no further discussion, is that discussion or is that going to be a motion? Discussion. Oh, okay, that's right. Well, you gave me a look. Okay. If no further discussion, we can have a motion to ratify the contract?
I'd like to make a motion to ratify the MOA between the Brockton School Committee and the Brockton Education Paraprofessional Association. The new contract shall be in effect for 3 years, for a 3-year period from July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2021.
Okay, motion's been made, properly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Approved unanimously. All right, and I think we still have, oh no, now we're gonna do executive session?
Please.
Okay. So, we have one remaining piece of business on the agenda, but the school committee is going to go into executive session for it. So, let me look, right? Okay. So, under the open meeting law, I will inform you that we do not intend to conduct any further business this evening after we come out of executive session. So the final piece of business will be an executive session, no further business after that executive session, okay? So have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.